Climate change is impacting many things in our lives, including some favorite adult beverages.
NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Steve Sosna shows us how the taste and cost of beer could be next.
Whether enjoying a fresh pour from the tap or sipping it straight out of the can, having a cold beer has been an American way of life for centuries.
Climate change can potentially affect all of the ingredients in beer because it is an agricultural product.
Matt Lally is head brewer at Evil Genius Brewery in Fishtown. He says climate change poses a threat to beer's most flavorful ingredients, including grain.
You might see the individual kernels become smaller or have less of a yield of sugar if the climate changes and it doesn't produce as good of a product.
Trey Malone is assistant professor of agricultural, food, and resource economics at Michigan State University. He says the ripple effects will be massive.
Likely with climate change, we'll see kind of barley markets expand more northward as opposed to where they currently exist. And that obviously is going to have these massive ripple effects for what the industry can expect in terms of flavor profiles for the beers, more than likely.
But beer's most flavorful ingredient, hops, is even more vulnerable to the impacts of weather extremes.
When you think beer, you think hops. And hops are the most fickle of these agricultural products because you not only deal with which cultivars of hops do better in different climates, but then as the climate changes, you're dealing with different types of mildew and rot.
Taste isn't the only thing at risk, so is cost.
Any type of weather shock or climate-related event in the Pacific Northwest can have the consequences of severely disrupting our beer supply chains across the world.
That's because the Pacific Northwest's Yakima Valley is the world's biggest supplier of hops. Malone says as a result, some northern states are growing their own to diversify the supply.
What we're seeing is hops growing, or hop yards popping up in Michigan, New York. There are some in Ohio, Pennsylvania, in part as a response to climate concerns.
Local beer equals big business. According to Climate Central, from 2011 to 2018, craft breweries in Pennsylvania alone created over 43,000 jobs and generated over $6 million of economic impact. Now vital to our local economy. Breweries like Evil Genius know the importance of going green, taking steps such as using clean wind energy for electricity and constructing their brewery tables and booths from recycled wood. And let's not forget the lighting.
So there are no lights on in here right now. These are what are called light cannons. So it's basically a reflective aluminum tube with a Fresnel lens on the end. So that's just a modified skylight that's shooting light into this room.
So this is just natural light,
Yep.
in a way, being pumped through. You would never know.
But it's not just the brewers. Malone tells us beer lovers can help fight climate change by choosing what they drink.
So my best advice is to drink local. So the carbon emissions of driving all over the place or transporting beer all over the place is a very big number.
Cheers. Cheers. Reporting in Fishtown, Steve Sosna, NBC 10 News.
Gets to report on climate change and have